Hello everyone, this is another Septandy video just before the deadline where I will speak about the Tandy 1100 FD. It's a PC laptop from 1989 which doesn't belong to the 1000 line despite having some common features. It has not the nice Tandy graphic and sound capabilities, but like the 1000 HX, SL and TL, it can boot very quickly to DOS, which is in ROM, without the need of any floppy disk or hard drive. Then it launches DeskMate, still from ROM, with some basic functions already built in, such as text editing. However, to use the more extended features, you will eventually need the appropriate floppy disks. For example, if I want to do page formatting, it's asking me for some complementary DeskMate disk. This one. This unit is a localized version as can be seen from the keyboard layout and software language. Something interesting about this specific version is that it has kept the backlit screen from the Panasonic Business Partner 150 on which the Tandy is based, whereas the original US version had removed that feature on purpose. But if we check in the French manual of my Tandy, in the power saving section, it is clearly indicated that the backlight is part of the function that can be disabled to save some battery life using the power11.com utility. It also says that it can be switched off and on with function F6. Something I couldn't find any mention of in the original English manual that can be downloaded online. Anyway, speaking of batteries, there are two of them in the Tandy. One 3V lithium coin cell soldered to the motherboard to keep the date and time. And the main battery, which is a 6V 1.8 Ah sealed lead acid. To replace the latter, I've looked around, but unfortunately, I couldn't find an equivalent with the exact same specs. The best I could get was this 1.3 Ah, which, despite its inferior rating, is taller than the Tandy one by about 1 cm. That is a problem, as it cannot fit in the compartment, unless I fold the metal piece inside and remove some of the plastic which is in the way. So to do that, let's disassemble the machine. Here is the plastic that needs to be cut to accommodate the new battery. Usually, I try not to do destructive mods, but I don't see any other option here. Given the fact that this part will be covered by the compartment door, I think it's acceptable. So let's spin the Dremel. Here is the finished results. I believe it's not too horrible. And more importantly, we can see that the new battery now fits. Folding the metal tab was harder than expected, so I also had to cut it with the Dremel. By the way, one common point of failure for this model is the floppy drive rubber belt going bad. But as seen previously, my drive is working, thanks to the previous owner who already replaced that part. Now let's change the RTC battery. First by desoldering the old one. And replace it with the CR2032 holder. I had to extend the negative leg a bit, since the old battery padding is a bit bigger than the vertical holder. Now we can reassemble everything. I have already set the new SLA battery by reusing the wire and connector of the old Tandy one. Now I just need to add a fresh CR2032 here. And here is the finished result. Completely portable, ready to use, without plugging any cable. So thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye!